All right, welcome back to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition. This is episode number 53, and obviously I am not out at the park taking a walk because it is raining cats and dogs out here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I live. So I'm doing an in-studio version today of the Daily Walk. So welcome everybody. Hopefully your new week has started off well. It is Tuesday and I'm back for another video here. Lots of things have been happening lately within the communities I'm involved with. And I just want to update you folks on something quickly here before I get into the actual topics that I'll be discussing here today. First of all, I mentioned last week that a YouTube content creator, Charles F. Gray, and I are going to be starting a brand new live show on Tuesday, January 29th at 9 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be broadcast live on Twitch TV, and the replays will be available on Charles's YouTube channel and my YouTube channel, along with being put on my Facebook business page and my website as well. The name of the show, yeah, I know we've received a bunch of scrutiny from it, but it is what it is. The name of the show is Real MGTow Talk with Charles F. Gray and Coach Eli. And the reason why I mentioned that right now, below in the description section, you're going to see a link to my Twitch TV channel. Go over there, become a part of the channel, and that way you will be notified when we go live on Tuesday, January 29th. And future days that we go live. More than likely, we're going to be doing the show once per week, but it may end up going twice per month, bi-weekly, which is what I'm trying to say. We have not decided yet, but the launch show is going to be on Tuesday, January 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time, on my Twitch TV channel, twitch.tv/Coach Eli, or just go below in the description section of wherever you're viewing this video, and you'll see a link to go there and join. Okay. And by the way, more than likely, Charles and I will do a couple of maybe 30 to 60 minute prelude episodes, probably about 30-minute, I can't even talk today. They're probably going to be about 30-minute prelude episodes. The first one may end up coming out tomorrow. It will be a pre-recorded prelude, and any other preludes we do leading into the show as promo pieces will be about 30 minutes, and they will be pre-recorded as well. So I'm talking with Charles F. Gray. I was speaking with him through Hangouts chat before I started recording this video today, and I'll finalize that, afterwards. And more than likely, you'll get a prelude show of our new upcoming show, Real MGTow Talk with Charles F. Gray and Coach Eli tomorrow. Okay, and maybe another prelude episode next week as well as we near the launch date. All right. Besides that, not much, else is going on. There's been a lot of talk within some of the communities I'm involved with out on YouTube, which is where I primarily cater my content to. But just because I primarily cater my content out on YouTube, and that's due to the fact that YouTube is the largest video platform in the world, and if you want to get discovered, it's the best place to do it. Even though they made many changes, it's still a place that has the largest community out there. So lots of things have been happening. So let me just get to the topic of today's Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition, episode number 53, in studio, due to rain. And I'll grab my handy dandy iPhone here so I don't butcher the topic. The topic is focus on what you can control, not what you can't. And our life coach is supposed to be setting the perfect example. One more time. Focus on what you can control, not what you can't. And our life coach is supposed to be setting the perfect example. Okay, so what do I mean by focusing on what you can control, not what you can't. There are many examples to, share with you folks what I mean by this. But one of the best examples is when it comes to relationships, when it comes to breakups, when it comes to divorces, where one side, either the man or the woman, made a unilateral decision, to, either dump you or leave you if you're in a relationship, or divorce you if you're in a marriage. Okay. And maybe, the dumpy, the person that got dumped, really didn't want to end the relationship or didn't want to end the marriage. But for one reason or another, the person that dumped you or divorced you had enough and they wanted to move on. Okay. Now, there are many people that want to try to reconcile their marriage even after a divorce. And there are also many people out there that want to reconcile a relationship, after they are broken up with. Okay. So a lot of people come to me and ask me, Coach Eli, my girlfriend of 2 years broke up with me. I really love her. I really miss her. We broke up over a stupid reason. There was no cheating involved. There was no abuse involved. I had some insecurities that I held from her, yada, 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 and she decided to leave me because she kind of got fed up, for one reason or another. Okay. Is there anything I can do to get her back? What can I do to get her back? And on the flip side, for women, if you got dumped by a man, you may be asking, is there anything I can do to get my man back? Okay. There's really nothing you can directly do to go and approach your other half or your former other half that left you that will just immediately change their mind and take you back. Okay. Maybe initially you may be able to try to work something out with somebody by begging and pleading and asking them for another chance. And that may temporarily work in some cases, but even if that does work, typically, that person will dump you again, shortly afterwards, maybe a week or 2 or a month afterwards, because the underlying issues, which were the reasons why this person left you, have not been resolved. And that's one of the biggest things right there that a lot of people don't understand. The reason why someone breaks up with you or divorces you is because there are underlying reasons that, stem from your behavior that's affecting them from wanting to be with you, in that relationship anymore. So how should you handle that situation? You need to focus on, what you can control and not focus on what you cannot control. So what can you not control? Which I'm sure you wish you could control, but that's not possible. You cannot control, your other half. If they make a decision where they don't want to be with you anymore, that's their decision. And it was probably very difficult for them to come to terms with that decision, especially if your relationship, lasted a year or 2 or longer. After that amount of time, there's typically a strong emotional bond that's built between the two of you. Even for the person that broke up with you, they still have that emotional bond and they're still feeling that emotional bond. And it probably took them many weeks, if not many months, to, get the courage to, break up with you. They've probably been thinking about it for quite some time because, like I said earlier, there were probably some behaviors that they saw in you they didn't like. They tried to, tell you about those behaviors. If it's coming from a woman, sometimes women will tell you about those behaviors they don't like in a roundabout way. And if you can't figure it out as a man, after a certain amount of time, they'll have enough and then they'll leave you. Okay. So, you cannot control, if you're the one that got dumped or divorced, you cannot control the other person that dumped you or divorced you. The only things you can control are yourself. So what I suggest you do in those situations, in this situation, which is what I'm trying to say, is focus on trying to really figure out what happened. Dig deep. Now that you're no longer with this person, you have a lot of time to self-reflect and think about, what do you really feel caused them to leave you? Think about your behavior and what you did and how it affected them. Okay. You have to first and foremost figure that out. And it may take some time. It may take a couple of weeks, it may take a month, it may take a couple of months or 3 months or so to really dig deep, within your heart and your soul to realize some of the mistakes that you made. And these may have been honest mistakes. Okay. These, in many cases, breakups are not really bad. The only times I feel breakups are really bad is when there's infidelity involved, which is cheating, or if there's any type of abuse, mental, emotional, or physical abuse. Besides that, breakups, happen because, maybe, you have some insecurities, maybe you lack maturity, etc. It's typically petty little things that can be worked through that are, upsetting your partner and turning off your partner. And again, your partner's trying to help you figure those things out, but until you figure them out, there's nothing that can happen. So your partner is going to end up giving up and basically, letting you go. So now again, you have this free time and space to figure out what those things are that turned off your partner and start focusing on yourself and working on those things. Okay. If you gained 30 or 40 pounds in your last relationship, like I gained 30 pounds, 25, 30 pounds in my last relationship, the very first thing I did after my last relationship is I went on a diet. I got myself back into shape. Not only did that put me in a more healthy position, it actually made me feel better about myself emotionally. It rebuilt my confidence, because I'll tell you what, no matter what anyone says, even if you're 20, 30, or 40 pounds overweight, which is not a whole heck of a lot, it's still enough. But even if you're only 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, that's not only going to affect you physically, it's going to affect you emotionally. It's going to affect how you see yourself. You're going to feel less beautiful. You're going to feel better about yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically when you're in shape. And it's going to really help you rebuild a lot of that confidence that you lost, towards the end of your relationship before you were broken up with, or even after your relationship, when you got dumped and you really weren't expecting it. Okay. So you need to focus on yourself. If money was an issue and, you weren't making enough money and that affected your relationship, maybe focus on getting into a different career. It's going to pay you more. Maybe take a night course at a college, go to trade school, do something to better your financial situation. Okay. So you want to take this entire time after your breakup to not try to chase down your ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, ex-wife. You want to focus on yourself and recreating yourself to be not only a better version of you, but to be the best version of you. Okay. Now, a lot of you are saying, how's that going to help me get my ex back, my ex-husband or wife, or my ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend back? Okay. It's not necessarily going to help you directly get them back. The only chance you have of getting back with somebody is if you leave them alone, you go no contact, you don't bother them, and at some point down the road, whether it's a month or 2 or 3 or 6 months or a year, or sometimes it can be longer, they somehow get in touch with you. Maybe they see you on social media. Maybe they see that you've lost weight. Maybe they see that you're in a better position financially, by discussing the type of work you're now doing. Your ex from the past, one day, maybe they experienced some things in between the time that they left you and, now maybe they experienced things and they went through some relationships thinking the grass would be greener on the other side, and it wasn't. So they might, say, okay, well, you know what? I've tried a couple of relationships since, this ex that I thought I had something great with, but I had to leave this person because there were some underlying issues that, he couldn't resolve. Let me see if he's resolved those issues or she's resolved those issues, right? So your ex may be looking at you on social media, and, depending on where he or she feels you are at, they may end up reaching out to you and saying, hey, how you been? I know we haven't talked in a while, but just wanted to say hi and see how things are doing. Okay. And in that situation, that is the direct approach. Your ex is never going to reach out to you again unless they are interested in rekindling something from the past, but they're not going to come out and directly tell you that. They're going to just put themselves into your orbit and see how you respond to it. Okay. So I'm not going to get too much further into this because, it's pretty simple. Okay. In life, okay, there are certain things you can control, and there are things that you can't control that you probably wish you could control. Now, even if you could control, getting back with your ex, let's say you're a man and you could brainwash your ex-girlfriend to come back to you. Even if you could do that and she took you back because you were able to brainwash her, is she coming back to you for the right reasons? And once that brainwashing spell is removed from her, is she going to stick around? No. If you're ever going to rekindle something with an ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, you want it to be natural. Okay. And you want them to come to you unforced. Okay. So in the meantime, okay, if you're still hurting over an ex, or you wish things could be, different, or you wish you could have another chance with them, just focus on yourself. Do not, under any circumstance, reach out to them. Do not text them. Do not call them. Do not email them. Do absolutely nothing. You need to give them the time and space to realize how it is to be without you. Okay. And you may be asking, is there a chance if I don't reach out to them that they may forget about me? And they may never reach out to me again. There is that chance. But if you're not important enough to them, then why would you want them to reach out to you? Why would you want to get back? Why would you want to get back with somebody that, that you're not important enough to, which is what I'm trying to say. And if you were important enough to them, and you still are, okay, even though you're split apart, they'll be thinking about you and they will reach out. If you never hear from them again, that's what was meant to be. Okay. Then obviously you are not important enough to them, and maybe you never were important enough to them. So at that point, you have to say, look, I've been working on myself. I basically became a better version of myself. And if my ex doesn't reach out to me to try to work things out, I'm going to go off and find somebody even better. I know it's easier said than done. Let me tell you, folks, I've been through this a time or two before myself, maybe more than a time or two before. Okay. But again, my advice to you folks out there, regarding anything in life that you're trying to accomplish. Okay. Focus on what you can control, and don't focus on what you can't control. There are many things that are up in the air and you can't control. And if you waste energy on those, like I said earlier, if you reach out to your ex even 6 months down the road, and she's the one that broke up with you, and you reach out to her, and you're a man, you reach out to her, okay, all you're going to do is irritate her because she's not ready at that point to talk with you, and she may never be ready to talk with you, okay? And let's say, during this 6-month period, she was starting to miss you, but hadn't come to terms yet with reaching out to you to try to rekindle things, okay? If you reach out to her, even after 6 months of no contact, all that's going to do is annoy her, and it's going to reset that clock. It's going to make her feel that, oh, I still got him. Nah, I'm not going to reach out to them. I was kind of sort of, thinking about reaching out to them, but now I know I still have them. I'm going to move forward with my life. You basically reset that clock of them missing you and wondering where you're at and what you've been up to. Okay. So just focus on yourself. Focus on yourself and focus on what you can control within yourself, and don't focus any time or energy on things you can't control. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be. I hate to say it. I'm going to be real with you folks because I'm a real coach here. Okay. I'm a real coach, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, yes, you have a great chance of getting your ex back. Every situation is different. Every breakup is different. Every person processes things differently. Every man and woman processes things differently. You cannot control how your other half processes things, or your former other half, how they process things. You can only control yourself. So go out there, make the necessary changes, figure out, where you went wrong, take ownership of your issues, and start making those changes to better yourself. And one of two things will happen. Maybe sometime down the road, your ex will reach out to you and try to rekindle things with you. Okay? Or you'll find somebody even better that will appreciate the better version of you. And then at that point, if you find somebody better, okay, and you have an even better relationship than you did with your ex may start to see that and say, wow, I now see him posting on Facebook. He's happier with this woman. Did I make a mistake? At that point, it's probably going to be too late for her, because now you're happier with somebody else. You've bettered yourself. You've moved forward with your life, and you're not letting the past affect you. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that there. So I don't think there's really much else to talk about when it comes to focusing on what you can control, not what you can't. Maybe when it comes to applying for jobs and stuff like that, what can you control? You can control how well your resume is written. You can control how well you dress when you show up. You can control what you say. Okay. What can't you control? Their decision-making process. Okay. All right. So focus on what you can control, and don't focus and worry on what you can't control. Don't worry about, are they going to hire me? Am I good enough for this job? Blah, blah, blah. Focus once again on what you're able to control within your life, and don't put any effort into things that you cannot control. I think I've overly emphasized that enough. So let me move beyond that. Now, the second part of this topic here, I'm going to be discussing are life coaches supposed to be setting the perfect example? One more time. Are life coaches supposed to be setting the perfect example? So I've been seeing a lot of comments on my YouTube channel and within a few Discord groups I'm involved with in regards to people saying that if you're going to be a life coach, you've got to set the example. You should be in the perfect marriage or the perfect relationship, and if you're not, how can we trust you? I've seen a lot of comments like that lately. It's a very good question, and I've responded in the comment sections of my channel and within the Discord groups I'm involved with. And this is how I feel about it. Even life coaches are human beings. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. Okay? We're not gods here. Okay? We're an average, everyday human being such as yourself. And we go through the same things that you go through. But what is the difference? We have more experience than you. Okay? Now, there are probably some other people out there that have more experience than I do. And they're not life coaches. If you want to become a life coach because you feel you have more experience than myself or other life coaches, then go ahead and do it. But maybe that's something you don't want to do. Okay? But the benefit of following a life coach or using his or her services, comes from their personal experience. Okay. A life coach is not defined by his current relationship or marriage. A life coach is defined by his or her personal experiences. Now, I've had great relationships in my life, but for one reason or another, they failed. And that's going to happen sometimes. And you know what? The more failures you have, the more you learn from them, and the more stories you have to share with people that are going through similar things. I would not have half the stories or any stories at all to share with you folks had I not been through what I've been through recently and in the past. Okay? So that's where I feel, it is a good benefit to follow a life coach that has these experiences. Okay? Again, just because, I'm not in a relationship or I'm not married and I've had failed relationships in the past, it doesn't mean I'm not qualified to do what I do. I'm not immune to women breaking up with me for whatever reason they want to break up with me for. Sometimes women will break up with you because the sun didn't come up that day. Now, that's an extreme example there, but I'm just saying, you know what? I can only control how I show up. I can't control how, any woman I would date is going to show up on any particular day. I can date someone for 2 years. I can do everything right 100%. I can be the perfect man that she's looking for. And maybe one day she wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and says, I don't want to be with you anymore. So does that mean I'm not qualified to be a life coach because that happened? That's out of my control. I can only control how I show up and what I do. Okay? So to you folks out there that are saying, well, I wouldn't follow any life coach or trust any life coach that is not successful in their relationship. Okay. You're really not being fair. You're really not being fair. Because again, if I speak, on my own behalf, I have personal experience. And when I put myself out there and when I'm in a relationship, I give it my all. That doesn't mean it's going to work out. Okay. Some people are more fortunate than others to find someone that is going to stick around. It just happens. You never know when people are going to get up and leave nowadays. Okay. So again, it's not fair to judge a life coach based on his current relationship status, which is what I'm trying to say here. It's, in my opinion, it's just not a fair statement. Okay. What else was I going to say here? Okay. I try to set the best example possible for people. Okay. I try to come out here each and every day and share a new story with you or a new topic with you. Okay. And I like to share my stories with passion, perseverance, and, I like to get amped up. I like to just be straightforward and honest and allow you to feel my passion, feel my pain, feel my rage, feel everything that I've been through. And in all honesty, that's what I feel makes a life coach a good life coach. The bottom line is that I love everybody. I care about everybody, and I give everyone a fair chance to be my friend when I first meet people. Okay? And you know what? If someone doesn't want to be my friend, I'll just politely excuse myself. Hey, okay, we have a difference in opinion. It seems like, you don't want to be my friend. Go do what you got to do. But if you change your mind, let me know. Okay? Some people will just criticize you and just feel like, you're the biggest piece of shit on the planet. Okay? I don't let that get to me. I kill people with kindness. I'll say, hey, look, once again, it's totally up to you who you want to be friends with and who you don't want to be friends with. But I'm not going to sit here and ridicule you or criticize you and tell you that I don't want to be your friend just because you don't want to be mine. I'm a better person than that. I love everyone. I give everyone a fair chance to be my friend. I don't shut anyone out, regardless of who you are or where you come from. Okay? Everyone is unique in this world. Everyone has something special to offer and bring to this world. Everyone has their own story. And that's what I'm interested in the most. I love hearing people's stories. Okay? Whenever you think that you can't get along with somebody, think again, because even if there's somebody that you wouldn't typically hang out with, okay, they have a story. And even to you guys out there that don't like me, I can learn from you. I still want to hear your story because I want to learn what makes you feel that way. I want to learn what makes you tick. I want to learn why you have more hate exuding from your body than love. Because there are two ways to look at things in life. You can look at things from a positive, loving standpoint, or you can look at things from a negative, hatred standpoint. Okay? And even to people out there that, I'm not too fond of, I'm not going to mention those names here, I have in the past. I still have love for them. I still care about their well-being. I still care about, them in general. Because I don't wish harm upon anyone. But I come from a very loving place. Okay? Some people don't come from that loving place. Maybe they were raised differently. Maybe they were raised not having morals, values, and ethics. Okay? Maybe they didn't have both parents growing up. So they didn't learn what nurturing love was. And maybe they're still trying to figure it out. But I'm not going to hate you because, you behave in a negative way. I may not appreciate what you do. I may not condone what you do. Okay? But I'm not going to put you down. That's what a real life coach does, is not put you down. It helps you. Now, in some cases, you folks may be saying, well, Coach Eli, you talk a lot of shit and it sounds like you're putting a bunch of people down. It's not putting people down. I don't put people down. I call people out on their shit. If you're going to throw bullshit my way, I'm going to call you out. And if you're going to twist that and make it seem like I'm talking shit about you, I'm not. I'm calling you out because the only way that you're going to make better changes for yourself to become a better person is if someone calls you out. And you may not like the fact that I call you out or someone else calls you out, but it's going to affect you and it's going to get you to start thinking about it. And you may not realize it right away, but maybe a month or two down the road, you may come to terms with the fact that, maybe that Coach Eli guy wasn't trying to attack me. Maybe he was really trying to help me because now I'm beginning to realize what's been affecting me. I'm so happy he was able to identify what I was going through, and now I feel better about myself and I'm in a better place. It's going to happen sometimes. Okay? So, again, before I start wrapping up this video, it's not going to be too long. Got about 33 minutes now. Okay? It's up to you who you want to trust out there. You don't have to trust the word I say. You don't have to trust the word anyone else says. There are many coaches out there doing something similar as I do. I've mentioned this in some of my recent videos. Coach Corey Wayne is one of the more popular ones. I actually have a lot of respect for him. Coach Corey Wayne is a single man, as far as I know at this time. He got married once in his 20s. He's now almost 50. And every so often, maybe once or twice a year, I'll hear him mention, something about him going on a few dates or dating this chick for 2 or 3 months. But I've never heard Coach Corey Wayne mention being in a long-term sustainable relationship since he mentioned his marriage. Especially over the last couple of years, I have not heard him talk about it. But are you going to go ahead and discredit him for not being qualified to be a coach because he's not in the relationship? Coach Corey Wayne has a lot of great information. Life coaching is more about getting people the proper information based on your past experiences. Okay? And what a lot of you folks out there don't understand, especially the guys out there it's primarily the guys that are criticizing me. What am I trying to say? Primarily, it's the guys that are trying to criticize me on this, saying that I'm not qualified to be a life coach because I'm not in a happy relationship, right now. Okay? Just think about it. Just think about what you're saying there and why you're saying it. Okay? I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I cannot control what women do. Women are emotional beings. Sometimes women don't even realize how they're behaving. Okay? So you can't sit here and say something that you're not qualified to be a coach because you're not in a happy long-term relationship or marriage to set the example. Hey, I wish I was. That's what I want. And I'm ready for it. I'm in a good place. Okay? I'm financially, mentally, and emotionally stable. I just haven't found the right person yet. But I still have an open mind and an open heart, and I'm open to it happening. Who the hell knows? Okay? But I'm open to it, and if the right person comes along, who knows? Maybe it could be this lady that I've been hanging out with at a platonic level, hiking with lately. Who knows? It could mature to something. But if that's what I want, if that's where I want to take this, if that's where I want to go with this lady, for example, I know how to take it there and give myself the best possible shot at success. And I can help you folks have the best possible shot at success. The reason why you cannot hold a coach accountable and say that he's not qualified to be a coach because he's not in a relationship is because, sometimes you can do everything right and it just isn't good enough for some people. And women's emotions are in the moment. They change their minds just like that. They can change their mind about not wanting to be with you anymore because, like I said earlier, the sun came out on the wrong side, or they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Sometimes those things happen. So that's something that is out of my control. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, some things you're able to control and some things you're not able to control. I can't control how a woman feels about me, but I can control how I feel about her. Well, they say that love is uncontrollable, and that there's a lot of truth to that. A better way to put it is that I cannot control how she shows up to the relationship. I can only control how I show up. Okay? And what I'm saying is, even if I do everything 100% right, according to the principles of the best coach out there, let's say it's Corey Wayne, okay? There's still a chance it might not be receptive to her, and it might not work out. That doesn't make me any less qualified, and you know it. Okay? And you know it. And if you're the kind of person that only wants to follow a coach that's been happily married for 30 years, good luck finding one. There are far and few between. I think one of them is Tony Robbins. But you want to go use Tony Robbins' services, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I like Tony Robbins. He's great. And Tony Robbins is older. I believe he's in his 60s now. He's old school. In today's modern world, relationships have become more difficult. Getting married and finding the right person has become more difficult. So how can you sit there and hold that against someone like me? All I'm doing by coming out here is sharing my experiences and making people aware of how different it is to, date and get married in today's modern world. That's all I'm doing here. I'm sharing facts by using examples, real life examples within my personal life. Most other coaches out there aren't doing that. Okay? And I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. Oh, and by the way, I'll wrap up by saying this. There are some guys out there on some streams. I'll mention this. Maybe they'll cut this and do a video on it. There have been a lot of people that have been doing, videos on me lately. No big deal. Thanks for the free exposure. Some people are saying maybe, Coach Eli's a shill, hired by YouTube to try to combat this mgtow men going their own way thing. No, I'm not a shill. I'm not being paid by YouTube or anyone else. I'm doing this completely 100% from the bottom of my heart. I love doing this. Okay? And I know to the people that, or to the particular person that made this statement on a stream I caught earlier on in the week, okay? I know you're a good person. I also know I believe you're a mgtow monk, and I value and respect you. A mgtow monk, if you don't know, is someone who has withdrawn from women completely. He doesn't sleep with women, doesn't date women, doesn't have kids with women, doesn't marry or date women, etc. I respect you for who you are. I appreciate you for who you are. Okay? I totally get that. Okay? But for you to come out and to say, maybe he's a shill, maybe he's hired by YouTube to combat this mgtow thing. I have a lot of respect for the mgtow community and the men in the mgtow community. And quite frankly, like I've been mentioning all along, or I've been mentioning at least the past week or so through my other videos, the only real mgtows, in my opinion, are the monks. Everyone else is a member of the manosphere. Because unless you completely withdraw, you are at risk of either getting a woman pregnant or losing half your shit in the divorce, child support, child custody, etc. You're at risk unless you're a monk. The only time you are not at risk is if you're a monk and you completely withdraw. For everyone else, you're a member of the manosphere. And I will tell you, the majority of the men that follow mgtow content online are not mgtow. They're men that have been taken advantage of by the system. They were divorced. They've been broken up with, and they're hurting over losing their ex. There are a lot of men coming into this community, and they're basically reaching out for support and help. And they're hurt. And let me tell you something, just because men are technically stronger emotionally than women, when a man gets hurt in a relationship, it hurts him emotionally like a motherfucker more than anything else. You ever been sucker punched in the gut, like really hard? It knocks the fucking wind out of you. Let me tell you something. If you're emotionally attached to a woman, whether you're married to her or dating her for a while and she breaks it off with you or divorces you, it's going to hurt you 10 times more, even 100 times more than being sucker punched in the gut and having the wind knocked out of you. There are men out there that are hurting and they need our support. And I think we need to focus more time on helping these men figure out, what they really want and how to, and get them to feel better about themselves, rather than coming out here and basically arguing over, who is a mgtow, who is truly a man going their own way or not. Okay. And, what qualifies you to be a life coach because you're not in a happy relationship. Yeah, it's just, I'll tell you, it's just been very interesting out there. I share these stories with you folks where most other life coaches wouldn't share them with you because, a lot of other coaches will go out there and just stick with their topic. They'll talk about something and they'll call it a day. I like to go above and beyond that. I want you folks to know the real me. I want you folks to understand that when you view my videos almost each and every day when I put them out, okay, I want you to feel like you have a piece of me right there with you in your house. Okay, I'm there to hold you by the hand, to comfort you, to make you feel better, to help you get through, your night. Maybe you're feeling lonely. Maybe you're hurt. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe one of your friends passed away or a family member passed away. I'm here to give you that support that you need that you're not getting anywhere else. I truly care about you folks. I truly care about everyone. And I'm going to continue coming back here each and every day with my message, regardless of what happens or regardless of what anyone says. Half the people in the world are not going to like you. The other half are probably going to like you. You're not going to win the hearts of everyone. But I'll wrap up this video with this. If you stay true to who you are and stay true to your message, eventually the right people will find you. And what I've also noticed is that sometimes, and I did a video on this, I believe last week, sometimes your worst enemies end up becoming your best friends. I've seen a lot of that happen lately. A lot of people that were trolling me on my former YouTube channel that I shut down about 4.5 months ago before I restarted this new one about a month and a half ago. They used to troll me. Now I'm friends with them. Now I'm connected with them in several Discord groups. I'm also noticing in my comments, some of my past trolls are now making legitimate comments. And they're not coming out and saying it, but their behavior is showing me that at least they're being somewhat respectful and they're trying to be respectful. Things are changing. I also did a video the other day, I think it was yesterday. How many chances should you give people? You give them as many chances as you feel they deserve. Some people don't deserve more than one chance. Some people, are making honest mistakes and they need help, a little hand-holding to guide them in the right direction. And they might make 2, 3, 4, or 5 mistakes, but they're honest mistakes. If they're honest mistakes, keep working with them. If they're making stupid, deliberate mistakes, cut them off at the knees and move forward. Okay? But I'm here because I love what I do. I'm here because I love everyone, including the people out there that are creating these videos and doing live streams on me, calling me cuck and calling it the cuck report and all that. You know what? I'm really glad that I can help you in some way, shape, or form. As crazy as it sounds, I'm actually helping you guys as well. Even the guys out there that are doing these live streams that focus 90% of their energy on me. I'm helping you. I'm entertaining you. I'm giving you something to talk about. That Bette Midler song, let's give them something to talk about, right? I give people something to talk about, right? If I went away again, what would you be talking about? So I'm glad I can help you in some strange way. I'm helping you get through your days. Okay? There are other people out there that are creating channels, where they're doing little snippets of my videos and they're kind of making them funny by, adding some captions to them and shit like that. Awesome. I'm glad you see enough value in me in some capacity to feel the need to do that. If I wasn't worth it, you wouldn't do it. I'm not saying I'm all that. I'm just saying, look, you know what? Obviously, I mean something to you folks. I love everybody. I accept everybody. I care about people in general. And that's the reason why I do this. Most people out there are very selfish and inconsiderate of other people's feelings. I'm considerate of everyone's feelings, including the people that don't like me, including the people that have highly scrutinized me. I don't wish any harm upon you. Including these group of men that have been referred to as the purple pillars out there. I'm not going to mention them by names. Including people that have been my arch nemesis in the past. I won't mention this person's name. Just an example. I care about everybody. That's what makes me a good life coach. I care about you. Do I want to make money doing this? Absolutely. Is it wrong for me to be making money doing this? Absolutely not. But I'm real and I care about you folks. I'm genuine. I'm not trying to shill you any products. I'm not trying to sell you, blow up dolls and erection pills and all that stuff. Okay? I pretty much give everything I do away for free. And if you need a little more hand-holding, or if you feel it in your heart that my information has helped you in some way, even if it just helps you get through your days because I'm someone that entertains you, you can make a donation and show your love. You don't have to even, like who I am. You don't even have to agree with my message. But if you're watching my stuff, obviously, I'm helping you in some way, shape, or form, whether you agree with my message or not. Maybe I'm entertainment for you, and maybe it helps keep your mind off of something else that was bringing you down. If you see value, feel free to donate. I'm not going to beg you. But regardless, I love you. Whether you donate or not, I love you. Whether you love me or not, I still love you. I have a lot of love for everybody. Maybe I'm going off on a tangent regarding this, but I just want you folks to know I really care. I really care. And I can handle whatever comes my way, whatever people throw my way next. I'm feeling kind of an emotional moment right now because it saddens me that, more people in this world, just don't take other people's feelings into consideration before they say something, before they do something. I'll leave you folks with this. Each and every time I put out a video or hang out with a friend or whoever it is that I'm around, I always take their feelings into consideration. I always take their feelings into consideration with what I say and what I do. And if you want to make the biggest change in your life, starting today, starting right now, start thinking about how other people are going to feel within based on what you say and do to them. Put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, how would you feel if they did the same thing to you or said the same thing to you that you said or did to them? That's where I'm going to wrap this video here today. Hopefully I'll be able to get out to the park tomorrow. Hopefully it won't rain. I'm going to have to do some working out at my place, or maybe I'll go to the gym. But thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully Charles F. Gray and I will be doing a prelude episode of Real MGTow Talk, our new show that's going to premiere on Tuesday, January 29th. Hopefully we'll be doing a prelude 30-minute pre-recorded show tomorrow that I'll upload on my channel and send to Charles to upload to his by tomorrow afternoon. With that being said, have a great night, everyone, and I will see you all soon. See you all next time. Bye.